military parade and was lucky to escape unhurt. Like his predecessor, he was a military man. Born in a small village in the Nile Delta, he became a pilot and rose to be Air Force commander, helping rebuild Egypt's Air Force after it was destroyed by Israel in the 1967 war. As president, stability was his watchword, at the expense of human rights. For the West, his support for peace with Israel made him a pivotal ally, but he was violently opposed by extremists. He crushed a wave of Islamist violence, but it was not the Islamists alone who suffered from his repressive rule, and popular frustration mounted over poverty and corruption, as well as police brutality and the lack of political freedoms. A new generation of internet-savvy activists, along with Egypt's largest opposition party, the Muslim Brotherhood, were challenging his rule. It was they, inspired by the revolution in Tunisia, who brought the people into the streets. En masse, Egyptians defied the police state in unprecedented protests. President Mubarak responded first by sacking his cabinet, then promising not to stand for a new term in elections due in September. The regime fought back, its supporters battling the protesters in Tahrir Square, the symbolic heart of the uprising. But in the end, the protesters got their way.
Caroline Hauley, and our main news again. Western powers have called on the armed forces in Egypt to ensure a peaceful transition for democracy after President Mubarak quit as president. So now for the latest world sport from the BBC with me, John Bennett. Coming up, it's first against third in the English Premier League as the two Manchester clubs meet at Old Trafford. We hear from a man who played for both teams. A special, the atmosphere, the fans, the result. I always hope it's a draw, so everybody's happy. West Ham United are on the brink of becoming the proud owners of the London 2012 Olympic Stadium, and Rory McIlroy has the halfway lead at Golf's Dubai Desert Classic as Tiger Woods finally finds some form. But first, in Saturday's big Premier League match, big spending Manchester City make the trip to Old Trafford to face the leaders Manchester United. A win for United would seriously dent City's hopes of winning the title. City manager Roberto Mancini insists his squad more than measures up to United's, but concedes that Sir Alex Ferguson's side have the greatest experience.
I think that our team is a good team. I think that we are into the lot in this 6 months. Everybody around to us, more than us, play mentality because they win for a long time, and that's only this the difference. I think that when we start to win trophies, maybe we can change, but when you have a team that win for 20 years, your mentality is very strong.
Well, Dennis Law is best known as part of the Manchester United team of the 1960s, in which he played alongside the greats George Best and Bobby Charlton. But the Scotsman also spent 2 spells at Manchester City at the start and the end of his career. Law sees a time in a not too distant future when City will be challenging United for the big trophies, but he says Roberto Mancini's priority this season should be a top 4 finish.
If they don't win the title, the most important thing is for them to get into the Champions League, and you can see that as a definite. So therefore they will build on that, and then I think they'll get stronger and stronger. They'll get back to the situation that we had in the 60s, with Mark Miles and Joe Mason at Manchester City, who were winning all titles, and Busby at United winning. So it really was the Northwest. Derby games are completely different to all other games. I know it sounds bad, they are, especially the atmosphere, the fans, the result. I always hope it's a draw, so everybody's happy.
So will the points be shared, or can City close the gap on the leaders? Join Russell Fuller and the Sports World team this Saturday to find out.
Well, Manchester United against Manchester City will be the early game that we'll keep you posted with when we come on the air at 14 hours GMT, and then we'll see whether Arsenal can perhaps take an advantage in the Premier League title race as they play Wolves, and that is Sports World's commentary match. We have a European Champions League panel as the knockout stage begins next week. Bono Asu of Kotu of Spurs will be on the programme, along with Steve McManaman of the former Liverpool and Real Madrid player. John Painter of Ghana and Fulham, and the new Formula 1 driver, Paul Di Resta, also on Sports World from 14 hours GMT.
Let's hear about the Sports World commentary match now. Second place Arsenal take on second from bottom Wolves, the team that stunned the leaders Manchester United last weekend when they beat them 2-1.